Hi guys, welcome to another mix and match, this one being whole body. So just a short, maybe 25-30 minute video, just you and your mat, where we're going to do a little bit of everything. So let's start just with our feet in parallel, a little bit of maybe some feedback, like almost not reflexology, but just through the feet, finding where we are. So take a moment to draw up tall in your posture and try to keep the tall posture, regardless of what we do in the feet. And then I want you to sway your weight to the left, but I want you to sway your weight like as far as you can to the left before you would have to alter that nice tall posture. So you're going to come very light in your right, a lot of weight in the left leg, and then come through the center. Think of getting taller in that moment, and then flowing and putting the weight as far to the right as you can, but lengthening as you do that, so that this really isn't a bend at the waist at all, but a real lean. Lean, 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 lean. Feel what happens to your foot as you do that. Come through the center and into the right, and feel what happens in your right, in the foot in particular. You can notice that whole side, but just this awareness of how the foot adapts to what you're asking it to do, to receive that weight, to help with your balance. Once more to the right, getting taller as you do this. Lean, lean, lean. And then come to center, even weight in the left and the right foot. And then draw back, put all your weight into your heels, and do this as far as you can lean. So lean, lean, lean. Try to trust yourself today. Can you go a little bit further without breaking that posture? And then getting taller as you come through the center and you reach forward. You lean forward. You put your weight into your toes. You keep the heels on the mat, but you lean forward as far as you can before you'd have to break that posture. Move back, bring that weight back into the heels again. And again, challenging yourself and seeing, what do the feet have to do to accommodate that, to allow you to do that? Lean forward, lean forward, lean forward. And lean back. Sorry, I'm giggling because I see the boys out of the corner of my eye. They're swinging on the apple tree. One more nice lean forward, and I want you to keep your weight forward on this one. Keep your lean forward. Keep your heels on the mat, and think of this length between your heels and the back of the top of your head. I want you to squeeze the bum. I want you to draw in with the belly, and I want you to do some heel raises, but keep that lean forward. And place the heels back down just enough that they like sort of kiss the mat lightly, and then come back up. Try to keep steady in the ankles. You're drawn back in the rib cage. You're not out of your neutral spine here. Almost imagine a little chin tuck happening so that you get that length out of the back of the top of the head. You're going for a long back body in this moment as we do two more. You get bonus points if your toes are not curled under, but rather spread nice and straight. Sink the heels and relax that posture. Good. Let's step to the back of our mat. And I want you to take a nice breath in and let those arms float up and overhead, but try to keep them right out to your side. So you're getting in this moment a nice wide chest and wide shoulder blades, reaching long out of the fingertips. The low ribs are held back. And then you straighten the knees as you bring them up and overhead, and hold that posture. Good. From here, we're going to bend the knees. Keep the pelvis right underneath the rest of the spine as you bend those knees, and you should feel a little bit in your ankles there, right? Good. And then I want you to raise the heels. Straighten the knees. Perfect. Sink the heels. Release those arms out to your side, out to your side, out to your side. Get wide across your chest in that moment. Place the arms down by your hips, and we're going into a roll down. So you've got your chin tuck, that length in the back of the neck. One bone to the back at a time, remembering always you can soften your knees. You can put your hands on your thighs. Beautiful. And in this one, we're going to walk out be in that either full plank position. Well, you have to be in the full plank position. This is level 2, 3. Sorry. From here, we're going to tap both knees and then straighten them. Draw in with the abdominals in that moment. And as you straighten the knees, feel like you reach long out of the heels as well as the top of the head. Tap the knees and straighten. Tap the knees and straighten. Spine staying nice and neutral. For 2. For 1. Perfect. Lift the sit bones towards the sky. Sink the heels just once. And then walk the hands back. Keeping the center of you over the center of the mat. To be at the back of your mat again. Roll it up. For that little release through the front of the chest and the balance, take the arms up and out to the sides. You're a little slight bend in the knees there, and you're wide across the chest. You continue all the way upwards, straightening the knees. Keep those arms overhead with the upper arms pressed back behind you, but the low ribs held in, so you get a length in the shoulders. Bend the knees. Get into your ankles there. Raise the heels. Straighten the knees. Sink the heels. And then let those arms release out to the sides. The shoulders are down away from the ears. The neck is relaxed. You're wide in your chest. Arms float down. And on your out breath, nod the chin. And another little roll down. Good. Once again, walking out, but try to lead with your opposite arm. If you don't remember which one you did, you probably did your favorite. So do the one that is less natural and come to a nice long plank position. Here we're going to raise the right leg. So press into the left leg, raise the right leg, lower it, and then bend the knee. Place it back and do the left. So point the left toe, raise the leg, lower it, and when you bend the knee, there's no change in the alignment of the spine. Replace. Lift the right, lower, bend the knee, reach it back, replace. Lift, lower, bring it in, put it back, replace. One more each side. Nice, good pace, but sometimes even more challenging for our core. Ground through both legs. Once into your pyramid, lift the heels, or lift the sit bones, sorry. Heels are up, then sink the heels. Then I want you to actively drop your shoulders away from your ears. Be wide through the collarbones, wide between the shoulder blades. Feel the pelvis pull back away from the arms. Raise the heels. Pivot once back to that lovely plank. Good. Bend the knees. And come down onto your belly. Good. Head resting on the back of the hands. Nice breath in. On your exhale, draw in with the belly. Keep those hip pointers nice and light. And then lift the face and the throat and the breastbone to come to a nice extension, nice hover, and then peel down. Exhale to peel up. Nice and long in your spine, just getting some extension in that upper back. Good. Exhaling to peel up, peel up, peel up. Good. And then holding this here if you're comfortable. Adjusting the arms so that you can be wide in your shoulders and press into the elbows and actively almost pull the heart forward, but still stay drawn in the abdominals, right? So that low back is not in any sort of compression or discomfort here. Good. We're going to start with just a bend of the knee and a little pulse. So you bend the knee. You can add the ankle flexion on the second one if you want, or if that's too much coordination, just 3 little pulses. So point, flex, point, release, point, flex, point, release, point, flex, point, release. Keep the feet the knees, the legs, all very close together, very close to the center here. Try to feel no bounce or movement in that upper body as you do that. That's the hard part for me. And we'll do one more on each side. Beautiful. Good. Lower the upper body just for a minute. Good. And then we're going to do our breaststroke. So the legs are staying nice and still on this one. On your exhale, just come to float the face and look forward. This will be where we start. Take the arms and reach them forward. And this is where you are when you've just breathed out. As you breathe in, you still stay strong in the abdominals. You press the hands around by your sides. Breathing in, reaching those fingertips towards your feet. And at the same time now, lifting in the chest so that you get this beautiful extension and opening across the front of the chest. Exhale, the arms just come close to your body and shoot forward. And you lower the face a little bit. So inhale to lift the chest, the throat, the face, and reach the arms long behind you, those fingertips reaching for your toes, and pass them along through your sides as you exhale. Inhale, you're above the water breathing in, right? This is the breaststroke. Exhale, underwater. If you get the breath reversed, it's not the end of the world because you're not in the water. You can still breathe. But what you want is comfort in your low back. So as you come up into your nice extension with your upper body, right here, think of that pubic bone staying rooted to the mat. The hip pointers, nice and light, the abdominals drawn in even as you lift and extend in the upper body, right? Good. Let's do one more. Inhale. Beautiful. Good. Exhale. Hold it here with the arms hovering. Lift the right arm and lower it. The left arm and lower it. The right arm. And if you feel that you're staying nice and still in the rib cage, nice and still in the abdominals, then add in the opposite leg. But I want you to be able to balance a hot cup of coffee on your low back. No matter where you are in this moment, in this exercise, that cup of coffee is nice and still, right? One more each arm, each leg. Perfect. Bring those arms underneath the chest, from the toes, or from the knees. Perfect press up. Beautiful. Rock those hips back towards the heels for a lovely little shell stretch child's pose. Bring those hands around by the feet. And just 3 nice breaths where you're really trying to get the spine into a lovely round flexion position. So breathe in and feel that space between belly and thighs. As you exhale, you sink a little deeper into the stretch. Breathe in, lift the spine towards the sky. Exhale, sink a little deeper into the stretch. Perfect. Good. And then rolling up to nice tall kneeling, and coming from there down onto our side. To be on our elbow, if you have a shoulder issue, you can always be down. Good. And we're going to raise that top leg and place it down. Raise the top leg and place it down. As you raise the top leg, you're also lifting more in the ribs. Right? The elbows right under the shoulder. You can take the top arm, it can be behind the head. And that will challenge you if you're tight in the shoulder, because you'll have to hold the low ribs back. Right? Many of us, to get the arm back there, we pop the ribs forward. But in order to stay and feel that you're staying steady in the pelvis and steady in the ribs, you'll have to hold back there and feel strong. As you raise the leg, lift, lift, lift. Make this space, this triangle of space, a little bit bigger. Good. Hold this one up. Tap the toe forward, up and over and back. Up and over, forward. up and over, back. As you come up and over, lift the ribs at the same time. Up and over, up and over, up and over, up and over. One more, beautiful. Hold the leg back there, but lift it up for 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Beautiful, good. Bring it back over the bottom one, lower it down, bend the knees, and then just come up into a lovely mermaid stretch. Reach the arm that you were on overhead. Release, and we'll do the other side. So coming down onto the arm, the elbow, stacking the pelvis, holding the low ribs back, having that option of having the arm behind the head, lift and lower, lift and lower. And just practice here, where if you're level 2, 3, this is not a hard exercise for you generally, but practice as you raise the leg that you're also raising the ribs at the same time to get the most out of that exercise and to have that stability happening in and around the shoulder blade. Yeah, and hold this one up and then tap it forward, up and over, back, forward, up and over, back, up and forward, up and back. Lift in the rib cage, be strong. You should just really feel strong in and around that whole shoulder blade. Try to think that that is your point of stability at this moment, your shoulder blade, right? It's probably not, especially if you're a girl. It's our hips and our pelvis, but imagine that that's your point of stability. Hold this one back and lift that leg for 8, for 7, for 6. Lift the ribs too. 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Bring that leg over the other one. Release it down. Bend the knees and then come up into a lovely mermaid stretch. Beautiful. Good. And we're going to come to sit at the front of the mat, or sit with the legs at the front of the mat. And just having the hands behind the thighs for a little support. And doing a little bit of a roll down here. So not a roll back. So you're staying over your sit bones. On your out breath, wide across your chest, tucking the chin, and then nodding the head, lengthening the back of the neck, the upper back, the mid back, and just what's comfortable, right? Maybe you stop here, take a breath in, and then restack. And you're aiming to articulate the spine. You're aiming to move it one bone of the back at a time. So on your out breath, tuck the chin. So it's the head, like the skull is your first thing to drop forward. And then one bone of the back at a time. Lengthening as you do though. All right, it's not enough to get round, you want to get long and round. Breathe in at your peak and then restack. Exhaling, nod the chin. Roll it forward. Good. Take a nice breath in and restack. Beautiful. Good. And then on your out breath, we're starting with our roll back. You can raise the arms right out if you don't need them anymore. Supporting at the back. Draw in with the low belly and start to round the low back out. The shoulders stay over the hips and you tuck the chin there. Then you can roll back what you're comfortable. Use that front body to pull forward. And then restack. Arms overhead in that moment. Shoulders down away from the ears, out to the side nice and wide, and then exhale to close it all back up as you roll back. Pull forward. Restacking. Right? I want you to really picture the snake-like movement in your spine. So the smooth roundness as you draw back. Rounding more and lengthening as you come forward, and then restacking. you know? A snake wouldn't have any stiff parts in them. So picture that smooth, graceful movement in your spine. Restack. See, that was more graceful, wasn't it? Exhale. And I want you to go back a little further here. Adjust the feet if you need to. See if you can lower, 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 round more, and then pull forward. Restack. Arms overhead, out to the side, and placing them behind you. Good. Option, where this is still a level 2, 3 in our mix and match, to lift the bum only, or straightening both legs for our reverse plank or our leg pull front. Nice breath in. Exhaling, press through the heels. Be strong through the chest and into the arms. Raise the hips and lower it down. And up again. And lower. Think about the length happening. When we thought about the length from our heels to the back of our head in the warm-up, see if you can replicate that here. Because this is back body, right? Length from heels right through the top of the back of the head. You can keep the chin tucked and the eyes looking forward, generally more comfortable in the neck. Good. Hold this one up. Good. Lift the hips a little higher. Lift the chest a little higher. Perfect. And then you're going to drop the bum an inch and pick it back up. An inch and pick it back up. Everything else stays nice and still. Challenge the shoulders and their stability. For 3. For 2. Good. For 1. Beautiful. Lower it down. Bend the knees. And come forward. Give yourself a nice little hug there. Little rock side to side. Perfect. Restacking. Good. Coming down onto your back. Good. And we're going to start right away with the legs in the air today. Right? And we're going to take the hands behind the head. And just feel you're in your neutral spine at the moment. You've already got the low ribs held back. You're broad across the shoulders and the chest. And the elbows they're out to the side, but you can see them in your peripheral vision. And they're going to stay there. They're not going to come more narrow or press back as you lift the head. And lower it back down. Exhale to come up. And lower it back down. So the pelvis, low back, low ribs, nothing moves here. Just warming up that upper spine into some flexion, thinking about not jamming the chin into the chest, but lengthening, keeping some space between that chin and chest while your gaze remains at the thighs or at your pubic bone, maybe even, yeah. Good, and then hold this one up. Good. Release the arms and bring them so that your left hand is on your right knee, inside of your right knee, and you're reaching the other one down the leg where you can reach, outer calf. Straighten out the left leg. And then nothing moves in the pelvis or the upper body as you switch. And as you switch. If you need to support the head instead or lay it down, you can do that. Right? But this is stillness through your core. Some good abdominal work. Lift in the chest a little more. Stay long and elegant in your neck. Good. One more with the right knee in. One more with the left knee in. Both knees in. Hands behind the head. Lift a little higher. Peel it down. Low ribs are still held back. Elbows are still wide. On your exhale to come up. Good. Rotation this time. Straighten the left leg. Bring it back in. Lower the upper body. and switch. Come up, rotate, straighten, in, lower, come up, rotate, straighten the leg, bring it in, up, rotate, straighten the right leg. So you're always straightening the leg that you're not looking at. This is some lovely obliques, but also some lovely deep core, because you're asking that pelvis to stay nice and still throughout that leg movement, as it comes in, as you lower the upper body, as you lift, and as you rotate to the other side. Good. This is the last one where we will lower, right, between each one, because now we're going to stay up and we're just going to switch. So rotate, straighten the leg, and switch, and switch, and switch, and switch. For 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Bring it in. Take those hands behind the thighs. Help yourself to climb up a little higher in that upper body. Bring the hands back behind the head. And toe taps. Just for 6. For 5. Do singles if doubles are too hard. 3. 2. Beautiful. 1. Dig in deep there. And release it down. Gorgeous. Straighten out nice and long. Let those arms be overhead. They can be directly overhead, more in a V. You could even bring the elbows out to the sides. Elbows out to the sides, bend the elbows, and more in a cactus position. Just wherever you feel a nice opening across the chest. Good. And now flex the feet. Draw the low ribs in. Bring the arms to be shoulder width apart. Shoulders are already down your back a bit. Take a nice breath in to prepare for your roll up. Exhale to stay there. On your next breath in, you're pressing the arms towards the sky, you're nodding the chin, peeling up one bone of the back at a time to reach long over the legs. Good, and then draw right back. No restacking, just peel right back down. Try to feel those legs stay rooted to the mat and reaching long out of the heels so they don't move. That's harder than it looks, not always possible for us, but that's our intention. Use that exhale to peel it up, to reach long over the toes, and then to draw straight back. Adjust the head and neck, right? They're not really going to help you if they are out of alignment. You might feel like if you do that with the chin, it's going to help, but it's not. Use the abdominals and push the low ribs back to get that up, right? And peel back down. Peel, 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 peel. And last one. Inhale, exhale. Reach long, long, long over the feet here. Restack. Beautiful. And relax. Good. And I'd like to end just with a little stretch today. Or not even a stretch, but a recentering. So we're going to come from there, if you're happy in your hips, to sit over the sit bones with the legs in a little diamond shape and the soles of the feet together. And you're not really severe here unless you're very comfortable to pull those legs in. I'd like you to more be able to stay tall in your spine over your sit bones. And you can support with the hands on the front of the shins, but you have your open chest and your relaxed neck. And we're gonna circle. So I'd like you to shift your weight to the right. Put all the weight in your right sit bone. And then come forward. And then over to the left sit bone. and then leaning back. Just as you circle the whole spine on top of the pelvis and the hips. And it's not a super controlled movement, this. It's just more, what does it feel good, right? So if you want to let the pelvis rock a little bit and get a little bit of more hip release action, then do that. But after this next one, we'll reverse it to go the other way, into the left sit bone, through the front, to the right. And you can go at a speed that's comfortable for you too. But I want you to keep circling, but make the circles a little bit smaller. So it's not such a big movement. Now the pelvis is staying still. And the low back and upward. Low spine and upward are circling. Pelvis nice and still. Reverse your circle if it feels right. You don't have to reverse the circle, it's just nice symmetry in our bodies. And then I want you to leave the spine still, and it's just the rib cage up. Not the spine, the low spine still. So the rib cage and upward are doing this nice circle. So you're gradually, if you haven't noticed the pattern yet, we're making our circles smaller and we're bringing ourselves into our center. Circle the other way, but only that rib cage up. Low back, pelvis nice and still. Good. And then leave your heart still. And just allow that circle. You can reverse it again, but allow the upper back, the neck, the head to circle, and everything below that is now still. And go the other way. Reverse your circle, but it's just everything from the heart up. Good. And then bring it so your throat is still, and that's harder. And it's just that the head on top of the neck that does a little bit of rotation. You should be very, very centered here. Even weight on your sit bones. A nice, tall, still, centered spine. We'll reverse and go the other way. And then you're going to come into just a nice, tall, beautiful, long posture. Feeling that stillness and that center. Does that feel good? Just take 2 more nice, even breaths. Appreciate that center. Appreciate the grounding through your pelvis, through your pelvic floor. And appreciate the length, the axial extension in the spine. And hopefully the freedom in the rest of your body. There we go. You can close up the knees. If you'd like to try to come up without using your hands to stand. Always a nice challenge. And that's it. Thank you for joining. I hope you like that mix and match class, and that is the last of them. But you can always go back and enjoy them all as you have your favorites, so you have a body part or area that you want to work on that day. So thanks. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.